Hello, Internet. It's Paul. It's Matt, the Dork Lords. We are here talking about Legion.
Yes.
Season 2, Episode 4.
Yes.
Entitled Chapter 12. So, this one is fairly easy to sum up.
In a way, yes.
In a way. Takes place, not entirely, but 90+% of it is in Sid's
head. In Sid's head.
So we have David attempting, as far as he's concerned,
yes,
to relieve her from the mind maze that is the teeth-chattering virus.
Yes.
So he enters her brain and he's trying to figure out, and she's in like a loop. She keeps showing him a loop of her life. Mm-hmm. Now, what we do find out later in the episode is actually it has nothing to do with the teeth chattering.
No, nothing to do with that at all, apparently.
As soon as the monk died, the monk, if you remember from last episode, leaped off the roof to avoid having to tell David where the body of Farouk is. I mean, that's at least one reason why he jumped off.
Right.
As soon as he died from that fall, the teeth chattering stopped.
Released everybody.
Now, is that everybody across the world? We don't know. Maybe.
I would think.
But it's definitely the people in D3, the room of chattery people.
Sure.
So
even
Carrie with a K.
And Carrie with a C was inside her.
Right. So everyone's free. Bling. Including that would mean Sid. Mm. But Sid is still comatose.
Yes.
And they're trying to figure out why back at D3. The reason is, I guess, is that she's using it as a test for David to say, like, this is your chance to get to know me via superpowers. We could have a conversation about this, but no, I want to go to the cafeteria with the moat.
Yes.
We'll just sit and talk.
Yeah.
No. I'm going to show you my life in a loop until you figure this out. And until you do, we are stuck in comas.
Yes.
It did occur to me that it must have been very tricky to place the little electrodes on her.
Oh.
Well, if you touch her, you'd be
sure.
I
would think that if you put on gloves, you should be protected.
Okay. Yeah.
If she has on gloves,
right,
you should have on gloves
Good
too.
point.
So.
Good point. If you're gloved up, you're all right.
I would think.
And then just to finish the non-Sid part.
Yes.
At the very end. The end, which they show the beginning credits, which is kind of funny too. It's like you get to the end of the episode, and then it's like FX presents, which is kind of cool. This is where it starts. The guards of D3 are all make room, blah 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 blah, and we see Lenny.
Yes, actual Lenny,
and she's back.
Yes, she's back.
So we're not sure how that happened.
No, we're not.
Maybe something with the monk dying and the teeth chattering leaving created something for, I don't know. It's not really related to teeth chattering, but maybe we'll figure it out. That'll come by. That's a mystery. But Lenny is back in D3.
And it's interesting that it didn't feel to me when she was asking for a body that Farouk was inclined to give her one.
I totally agree. He was not. I would say no. So yeah, what was it that did that? We also see that in the trailer for next week.
We should assume that in some way that helps him, obviously.
Right.
And we see what's his name?
Oliver.
Oliver, right.
Right. So it's an Oliver-centric episode to next episode, which we haven't seen him for 2 episodes.
No, we have not, and he doesn't even seem. I mean, it's interesting. A question of whether or not we're seeing Farouk in Oliver as Oliver or Oliver.
I think we're seeing Farouk's personality in Oliver's body.
Okay. Because, it makes me wonder, though.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Okay. Good point. Good point.
Yeah,
is it all in his head? Drink? Okay. All right. So those are the non-Sid parts of the episode, for the most part.
Yeah, because, he, once the monk dies, Carrie with a K comes to, and then Carrie with the C sort of says, "Oh, well, pull me out," and that was pretty good. I like that. Pulled him out there, and then they have
a run-in with Clark.
Right.
Clark does the exposition.
Yeah, and then they sort of said, "Oh, where are they?" And that's when they see,
he's about
David
to
doing it
on the rooftop.
So they take them down and they examine them and say, "Oh, the brain waves are different. I don't know what's going on."
Yeah, it's not teeth chattering, obviously, because their teeth aren't chattering.
Yes.
So here we are, the Sid stuff. So basically we go from the birth of Sid, where it's equated to her coming out of this igloo, emerging from the womb into the real world.
Yes.
Then we see a series of, from an early childhood, she's being kept from human contact.
Yes.
She's wrapped up in this blanket as an infant in the middle of a crib, crying. Then there's one where her mom is laying with her, but making sure to like keep covers between them so she can like touch her but not touch her. So we know that the mom is aware very early on that something bad happens whenever human contact happens.
Yes.
I would have actually liked to have seen that.
Yeah, me too.
I would like to see what happened when the mom first went, "Oh crap! I'm not you. I'm a baby now."
Yep.
I don't know. So we didn't see that. We also have we ever known exactly who Sid's dad is? Because we do have the kid, the three girls, the three mean girls,
right, so
have a little nursery rhyme about how the dad's in hell.
Yeah.
So it sounds like maybe the dad is dead.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what we knew about this, her growing up, is that there was some incident between her and one of her mom's boyfriends. I think we did know that it was a boyfriend before, so. Yeah, it'd be interesting to go back, or if you people watching this have a better sense
if you have
of
an
it,
idea for who Sid's dad was.
Yeah.
Is he alive still? Is he possibly going to come to the show at some point? Anyway, okay. So,
is it Professor X?
Their brother, sister.
Yes,
it's all in her mind.
Star Wars and
right. She's the Leia in this kind of
with the Game of Thrones.
Good point. She's a secret Targaryen. Spoiler alert.
Just secretly her brother. That's her sister. That's all.
So we see the birth. We see the early childhood. We see a bit where she is at the art gallery.
Yes.
The one art gallery in the world. She's at an art gallery, and her mom is looking at the paintings. She's watching these two people making out, and it's kind of like an interesting, there's all this art around, and she's looking at the thing she can't have, which is people kissing each other.
Presumably. But, well, that was a theory that was...
Right, that's an A theory. But I'm just saying, she was looking at them.
That was rejected. No,
I wasn't looking at... She was looking at them.
No, that's not why.
Yeah, it always reminded me of I was at an art museum once where I just noticed that like the bulk of the people on this particular occasion were all waiting in line for a water fountain. And it was just like, it was almost like the water fountain was the big art piece. Like, oh, look at this installation sculpture. It's called Water Fountain. Anyway, so there's the art gallery. Then she starts to kind of at school she's getting picked on. She's getting picked on. There's the girls, and there's a guy who's a bully, and he's like, "Hey, let's kiss." And she's like, "No," and there's a very good reason why no, but I'm not going to explain it.
Right, but make it clear too that it does seem like he says, "I see you looking at me." And it does seem to suggest that maybe she does have feelings for him, even though still some guy telling you, come on, and then pushing you. Clearly asshole techniques.
She has hormones.
Yes.
Whatever. She's
a
sexually curious, which eventually comes around with the sex with the mom's boyfriend.
Yep. Sure.
She has a punk phase.
Yes.
And this was interesting because she goes to clubs.
Yes.
Takes her gloves off.
Slam dances.
Does slam dancing, which so the slam dancers are interchanging with her, is what's happening.
It looks like the face.
The face has changed. But like in other words, if we were slam dancing, and I'm like, you would be me, I would be you temporarily.
Yes.
And at some point we'd switch back.
Presumably.
And maybe you'd just be like, oh, it was just. In the inspiration of dancing, it felt like an out-of-body experience. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know how she got away with that, but
yeah, I guess that perhaps bounce, and then someone bounces us back, and okay, we switch back. So maybe so fast that that was weird for a second. But
one thing about the way the power works, it appears that so the moment when which is the big moment in this
Right.
episode is when she has sex with her mother's boyfriend.
Right.
So she takes over. Her mom's passed out, drunk or
Yep.
asleep, whatever. She inhabits her mom's body. Blink. Goes into the bathroom.
Yep.
Has sex. So when she, as her mom, touches someone, that's fine.
Yes.
Like, in other words, I was half expecting when she touched the boyfriend that they would switch. And I was like, well, yeah. But no, there's a limit. So it's only based on the body of Sid.
Yeah.
If the body of Sid comes in contact with somebody, not the spirit or mind.
Of course, this happened in the first season.
It did happen.
So it's not like this the first time that we've seen these powers.
Right.
Right. So
I was just kind of coming
when
back
they were
in
both,
tune with them.
Right. When they were both in the asylum,
Yes.
David touched her when he shouldn't have.
Right.
So they switched. And then David was walking around in her body, and he left. He left
the
institution.
Went to his sister's place.
Right. Was it?
Maybe. Anyway, somewhere.
I feel like he went with the group, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so when it switched, it was like, oh.
Oh, right. He's in the car in that one bit,
Yeah,
and then suddenly she's there.
Yeah. See, that's what. So it happened in the first season. So we shouldn't. We should be used to this.
We should be used to this. But
it doesn't happen that much because he's always, So it's like only when she wants to, which is not all that much, even though she's doing it more now.
With the cat.
With the cat, yeah.
But I'd forgotten whether, or I didn't. Maybe it didn't occur to me whether the second body can then transfer that power to a third body.
Right.
And so I'm now familiar with that power. It does not do that. So yeah, she's it's a punk thing. She starts cutting herself. She's sad.
Yes.
She's an unhappy person.
She's very unhappy.
Her mom does poetry readings.
Yes.
At the house.
Yes.
And during the poetry readings, people put their coats in the bedroom, basically. And so she tries on their coats and stuff, and she's putting on other personalities, which I think is somehow it's kind of a metaphor for her own powers, right? When she touches somebody, she could become that person. So she's putting on the trappings of these other people. And her mom has a very specific poem that the dream always keeps coming back to, which is about survivors and how it's kind of become a bad word in psychology now. So they say survivor.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
When it really should be something seen as empowering. And what other little beats do we see from her childhood or her growing up? Those are the main ones.
Yeah, I mean, we don't think we mentioned that when the boy kissed her that she...
Right, so then, okay, right, good point.
Actually, no. He wanted to kiss her and he pushed it away.
Yeah.
And then she was like, wait a minute, okay, fine, you want to kiss? And she did that so she could beat up the girls that were making fun of her.
As the boy.
As the boy, yes.
So it's very, that's...
So then she sold him out.
That would be like the first step on the road to supervillain.
Yeah.
Is she kisses the boy, takes his body, he collapses. She takes his lacrosse stick, it looks like, and knocks out, I think, the three mean girls. Then when the principal, whoever runs up, she's like, he did it. No reason. I don't know why he did it.
Yeah,
but he did
and she was standing over their bodies and presumably
went,
boom.
boop, boop, switch back.
And so he was on the floor.
And he's like, I was just trying to kiss her.
Yeah.
And then he gets taken away.
Yeah, so stupid. I mean, perhaps that was the first example of somebody who behaved like an asshole. And he was an asshole, pushing her.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like me, faggot.
And the mean girls were consistently mean.
Yeah. Consistently. Yeah, they never wavered in their meanness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she used her powers to get back at people, and then obviously she also used her power to have sex with her mom's boyfriend, which let's take it into that moment. So her mom obviously has known forever.
Yes.
That's a power she has.
Yes.
So it's very likely that once the mom wakes up or realizes what happened, mom's gonna know what happened. She's she's doing what a teenager does, which is not look ahead, right? She's not
Right.
she's not thinking long term here. She's
Right.
like, this is what I want now. I'm going to do this. There's going to be some ramifications from this.
Right. Well, unfortunately, we don't know what her motivations are, right? I mean, when she saw the boyfriend wink at her, did she say, you know what, this guy's an asshole. I want him gone. Or I can kill two birds with one stone. You know,
I felt like in that
mother.
moment she wanted to have an intimate relationship. Or at least to have somebody touch her, but sex was probably more appropriate.
More appropriate?
More inappropriate. But I mean, a more appropriate explanation of what she was looking for. So, yeah, she's just a person who's been constantly removed from touch.
Yes.
To the point that she's just starving for any kind of actual touch. The reason they keep showing the baby over and over again is because it's like one of the last times when she got to, without a blanket between them, like cuddle with her mom.
Yeah, there was one thing that it was interesting. I thought when David was seeing her as a baby, it's like, oh, don't touch her. She doesn't like to be touched.
Yeah.
But at that point, she was able to be touched.
Yeah, and he
But it
kind of
didn't
looks at her
last
like,
long.
oh, wow.
Yeah, it doesn't last long.
Yeah, so I thought maybe her powers would have manifested when she's a teenager or something, but no.
No.
Her powers were like infant.
Couple of days, yeah.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
So the ramifications of that act of switching with her mom is that the boyfriend gets taken away for rape, I guess.
I guess.
You know, with a minor. She's 15 at the time. I would get. I mean, the mom knows. Mom knows what happened, and so she's now put herself at odds with her mom.
I don't know. I want to watch it again. I'm not.
Okay.
You know, I did feel confident at the time that mom knew, and now
Because there's a
for some
scene
reason,
after they take
rethinking it.
After they take the boyfriend away, the cops take him away. They linger on Sid in the foreground, mom in the background, and they're like, there's this silent moment of like.
Right. Because again, from the first season, the impression I got was Sid did that event, and then the mother was mad at Sid.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. I think she is mad at Sid. She was also mad at the boyfriend. But you're right. How could, in some ways, what you're saying is, if she knows Sid did it, and Sid inhabited her body, how would you be mad at the boyfriend for having sex with who he thought was the mom?
Right. I feel like the thing to do there would be to say, get out of my apartment and ascertain exactly, or just have him stay in a room until you can talk to the daughter to see exactly what happened, because, you know, but again, I want to watch it again. I'm not satisfied.
Yeah, it's mysterious on the...
Slap me around in the comments. What's wrong with you? Obviously, it's this. I don't know.
You would think that either the mom would be mad at Sid or she'd be mad at the boyfriend.
Right.
Not necessarily both. And yet it seems like it's both.
Doesn't seem like that. Or at least, I don't know.
So during this this loop from igloo to birth to infants to rebellion to hockey or lacrosse stick to David's there now. So David's watching and learning about Sid. And then he keeps finding a time to approach her at these different ages, actually, and kind of stepping in and going, all right, we can go home now because I know what you're doing. I know what this maze is.
Yes.
And so he keeps trying to guess what the maze is. And she keeps saying, nope, try again.
No.
Try again.
No.
Try again. Try again. We get the idea that maybe, I don't know, who knows how many times he tried. I mean, we see like 4 or 5, but I get the impression he had to read that book enough that he could memorize the text. He had to, listen to the mom's poetry reading enough to hear the poem and be able to quote it back.
I guess, except that, it doesn't take that much time, real world time, so.
Sure. And he is, like, his brain he's probably got the photographic memory thing going on. So, what are some of the ways he fails? One way he fails is...
Well, you mean the theories that he has that she rejects?
Yeah. So the one is like, oh, the reason you come to this art institute, I say art institute, it's the Chicago Art Institute. It's not the Chicago Art Institute. The reason you come here is because you see these people kissing you, something you never were able to do.
That was his second guess. The first guess is, look at this painting that you're looking at. They can't touch anybody. She's got her mouth covered and she can't communicate, and that's why you like it. No, that's not why I'm here. That was the first guess. Second guess is, I've got it now. These two are kissing. You want to be able to kiss. You can't kiss. Whatever.
And she's like, nope, that's not
and
why.
And then it's like when she sees the attempt with the guy, she's like, I love you. I'm the one. You never could find love, and I love you. Nope, that's not it either.
He also does. He goes to the little.
The
little
girl. Yeah.
And so I think when in that case he thinks
he can get her to tell him.
Well, she can tell him, but I think it's also. He thinks she's looking for someone to save her. Because he mentions later where he's like, you're not looking for a Prince Charming to come kiss you. Like he's trying to be the Prince Charming. Like, get out of here, girls.
Right.
I'm here to save you.
Yeah.
How about that? No? Oh, crap.
Yeah.
So it ends with, or there's a nice beat there when it's the, look, we're both damaged. And that's okay. And I know you're just scared that I'm not going to love you because of the things you're seeing. But there's nothing you can show me.
Yeah, nothing.
It's not going to keep me from loving you. And she's like, that's not it.
Nope.
And that's a nice beat because it's a long monologue that sounds like he's got
it's
it.
It's almost like, just like,
and then he's,
nope.
Really? Commercial.
Or that's one of the times.
She goes,
anyway.
So the message is, I kind of understand the message and I kind of don't of the final... the right thing.
I'm saying not kind of. Just don't.
Okay.
I don't.
So if you, the comments are clear on what the takeaway message is, please put it in the comments. But here's what I got out of it.
We'll give you a no prize.
We'll give you bing! Prize. I'll put the word prize down.
No prize.
No prize. Okay. So the message is, she's like, look, it's not about being saved. I'm not showing you this stuff to have a pity party. What I'm showing you this for is to show you what I've been through, to show you that I am battle hardened.
Yeah.
And that through all the suffering I've had, that I've endured and survived, being a survivor, I'm ready to fight this fight that's coming for the apocalypse.
Yeah.
You said that there's apocalypse in the future. Who's going to survive it? The lovers? No, the fighters. And I'm just letting you know that I'm in on this.
Yeah.
That I'm ready for this fight. But it's a little weird in that she kind of seems to underplay their love for each other because he's trying to say, hey, what's important is true love. I love you. It's like I'm living in a fairy tale. She's like, this isn't a fairy tale. It is to me.
Yeah.
Huh? Huh? We love each other? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Love, she says, love is a hot bath. It makes you soft.
Yes.
Which is interesting. It's a dichotomy to the igloo she was in originally, the cold versus hot thing. So yeah, she's like, it's a fight. And he says, he seems to agree. Like,
yeah.
Get it. I get it. You show me all these things to show me your scars. You're battle hardened and ready for the fight to come. And then they come back into the real world. Yeah. And assuming it's the real world and it's not all in his head. and that's when Lenny shows up. So, yeah, so they're back. Of course, we know that in the future she's going to lose an arm. And
we do know that.
There's stuff happening
Stuff is happening.
She's going to be still battle tested, I guess. But how does this impact necessarily how David's choices and such?
Yeah, I don't know.
Something that occurred to me from last week. We talked about. Sorry. Ha ha ha. I'm mixing up my Westworld / This is a Westworld reference in Legion. When we were talking about Westworld, we were talking about time frames versus timelines.
Yes.
And it occurred to me that maybe this is another show that doesn't really have timelines as much as it has time frames.
Okay.
And that maybe there is no real... We haven't really seen necessarily evidence of an alternate timeline.
Yeah.
I mean, we just hear from future Sid like, hey, everything sucks because you didn't do this thing.
Yeah.
Or, Farouk.
Right.
But we don't necessarily know that... I'm just wondering if the future is set.
Oh.
Like, it doesn't... They got a snapshot of it, but whatever choices he makes is always going to lead to the same future.
Right.
Or if it's
Yeah.
if is this an alternate future type show, or is it just everything is one? There's a timeline,
Right.
and we're just on it.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't know what because this is the first instance we've seen of time travel on the show. So
I have this suspicion it's a one timeline type thing. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know that for a fact, but I think it goes back to that monk and the way he said you're not gonna destroy Farouk. You're gonna let him. You know, when David is promising, look, I promise,
right,
I'll destroy Farouk, which is what Sid doesn't want him to do.
right.
The monk's like, you're not going to do it. You're going to leave him alone. And I feel like we've heard from a monk and Sid that he doesn't destroy the body of Farouk. I feel like that's what's going to happen.
Wait.
The choice is going to be he's going to leave
Farouk's
body.
Okay, what we heard from the future one is that he does stop him.
Oh, okay, good point.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry, you're right. And then the monk is saying he wouldn't. Okay, all right, good point. Good point. Yeah, I just talked my way out of my own timeline problem.
Yeah, you did. You
Okay.
talked the way out of it.
All right, good. There's an alternate
You know?
timeline. Look at that. Boom.
Yeah, so, one thing that just recently watched something that compared a number of, how Hollywood does a number of, how they approach time travel. And the two examples they chose some other ones too, but the two main ones they chose was Terminator and Back to the Future.
Okay.
So they have much criticism for Back to the Future because, even though he stopped the event that caused him to father to meet his mother, which is the classical grandfather problem, even though he stopped it, he was still sticking around for a while, and then he was starting to fade or whatever.
Yeah.
And then not only did he provide, make that happen ultimately, but it's still though his future changed, right? But the tragedy of Terminator is that he goes to make the thing that caused him to be there happen. So if he hadn't gone back in time, his father would not have met his mother, because he sent his father back in time.
Reese and
Reese sends his, John Connor sends Reese back in time so that he can keep his mother alive, but also be his father. So it wouldn't happen. But then the other trick is, why did it happen in the first place?
Right. What was the chicken and the
why
egg
did
thing?
it happen? So, but this was praised above these two things. So in this instance, we have an event in the future saying you have to stop these events from happening by doing something different.
Gotcha.
And then if he does those things, then who's going back in time to tell him not to do it? So.
Gotcha. Right. Exactly.
So like the way they tried to get around that on Lost is, they often told you can't change the past. These things are happening, and you can't stop it. Even though at one point they said, oh, you can. And then that's what fooled everybody.
Well, it's
but you can't.
Game of Thrones.
You can't change
Game
time.
of Thrones, Bran,
right, exactly.
like the ink is dry.
Right.
You can't actually change
Right.
although he does affect Hodor.
People see, but
But then
that's the reason
theoretically
why
it was supposed to happen.
Right, that's why he happened, because he was screwing around or whatever.
So it's just interesting to see, because obviously, different shows have different takes on time travel, and I'm not sure what take they're having on this.
I think you expressed some time travel. How do you feel so far about the time travel in Legion?
Yeah, they've only introduced it as a, hey, here's a cautionary tale. Just think about what you're doing before you do it.
Think about what they told him don't do.
Well, right. In other words, think about that. Here's what might happen
else.
as opposed to, I'm you from the future. I'm David. Let's go do it. I don't know. Like, there's a level of time travel involvement that bugs me. For instance, the Terminator stuff bugs the crap out of me.
Oh.
Because I feel like you have so many paradoxes that no story matters. We saved World War III, but not anymore because the robots knew that and they created another robot and went back and killed the first robot. Like, I'm tired of that. I'm done. No. If it makes the story, in this case, we haven't even seen this happen yet. So this is we're on one line.
I feel like we are close to it, though, right? Because it's like, he's supposed to do something with the Shadow King very soon, like in a couple of weeks or whatever.
It was a week, and that was a few days ago.
Right, so it's coming, which is good. Glad we don't have to,
Yeah.
So we'll see, I guess, what happens.
So yeah, if you get the paradox and paradox, that bugs me because I feel like it takes the stakes out of storytelling. But so far in this, I'm okay at the moment. But we'll see how this works. The choice he makes, Farouk lives, Farouk dies. I guess Farouk's body, whatever. Anyway, so we'll see how that works. Anyway, that is episode 4. We'll be back for episode 5. We'll be talking Westworld. We're also talking a little movie called Infinity War.
Oh yeah, Infinity War.
Boom! I got my tickets. Do you have your tickets, Paul?
No, I'm just gonna go. I think it'll be at a few theaters.
No, I think it's a limited release.
Oh,
is what I.
Oh, all right.
Art theaters only.
If then I'll just make it up when we get together. I just feel like
you're like, wow, I did not see that the entire cast would die.
Iron Man's in it, right? Yeah, I mean Iron Man. He's in it. Good Iron Man.
Those are good guesses.
Yeah, thank
It
you.
would be hilarious if Iron Man wasn't actually in it, and then it was like I'd be sitting here going, "Yeah, no, actually,
what?
They didn't. Robert Downey Jr. wasn't actually in the movie. They put him in the ads, but he's not in the.
Oh wow!
They cut that out of the movie.
Very embarrassing.
They did not cut Robert Downey Jr. out of the movie. I'm going to go with spoiler alert on that one. All right. All right. So thanks everybody. We will see you soon. Subscribe if you want to get updates on these kind of things. Please make comments. Again, theory crafting. Legion and Westworld. It's the theory crafter's delight. So craft away.
Craft away.
Make craft beers.
Yes.
And we will
Arts
respond to those arts and crafts. So anyway, thank you everybody.